post back another video. In today's video, we have our match preview between Chelsea and Benfica, which kicks off in roughly 4 hours. I'm finally back. Been 9 days. I was in New York. I went to watch the Chelsea games, the Flamengo in the Tunis games. Obviously, we qualified to the round of 16, which is where we're at now. But yeah, I've been gone for 9 days. I went from that to a college camp, and now I'm finally back at my setup, so I'm finally able to record again. I was trying to push out little bits of content that were pre-recorded while I was gone, so there's probably 2 videos that came up while I was gone, but here we are, finally able to record and finally able to do a match preview, and it's fitting that it's finally in the knockout stages and I'm finally able to do one. So this is our Chelsea versus Benfica match preview. If we take a look at Benfica's group stage, you can see that they topped the group. They ended up getting 7 points over Bayern 6th. You can see in match day 1, they drew to Boca Juniors, who should have won that game actually. Benfica came back down 2-0 to make it 2-2 after Boca got a red card. And then Auckland City was probably the worst team in this tournament. They drew to Boca Juniors on the final day, but Boca knew that if Benfica won, then they had no chance of qualifying to the round of 16. And they had that delay during the game, so they already knew that they wouldn't qualify. So when I was watching that game, it seemed like they just gave up. But Benfica 6-0 to Auckland City. Bayern won 10-0 to Auckland City, which is why their goals for is so high. Both those teams absolutely battered them. So yeah, Benfica won 6-0 against Auckland City. Not really a result to look much into, but the result that surprised me the most, but also made me the most happy, was Benfica beating Bayern Munich. They won 1-0, scored pretty early on, and just defended for the rest of the match. But this meant that Bayern moved to the other side of the bracket. Benfica moved to our side, which I think really worked out in our favor, because now we have Benfica, then we would have a Brazilian team, and then most likely Man City, maybe Inter Milan in the semifinals, and then it would be the final. So really good opportunity to make a lot of money if we're Chelsea, that we can invest back into the squad, which I think we need to do. And there's a news video coming out later today that there's been a lot that's kicked off today, so there's a lot to talk about. There might be 2 news videos today. I know there's going to be a match review today, so there's at least going to be a triple upload for y'all today. But yeah, I think Chelsea have one of the easiest roads to the semifinal. Benfica is probably their hardest test. And I think it was a great result that they beat Bayern 1-0. They were really able to just defend for the whole match. Bayern did equalize, but Harry Kane was offside. It was a Kimmich shot, kind of like into the bottom right corner, but Harry Kane was offside. He blocked the goalkeeper's view. They called it offside. Waved the goal right as soon as Kimmich was about to celebrate. And that meant Benfica stayed atop the group and moved over to our side of the bracket, which obviously means we are playing them today. And we can look at our group stages now. You can see we ended 2nd in the group, beat LAFC 2-0. We already knew that. That was a long time ago. I made a match preview and review on it. Decent result, looked pretty slow, but, we got through it. The Flamengo match, it just fell apart within 10 minutes. They scored twice within 5. Jackson got a red card 5 minutes later. And then they scored again right after. It was not a fun watch, to be honest. Pedro Neto scored in that game as well. We looked decent starting the second half. We looked like we were just going to see the result out, because obviously it was 1-0 to the 63rd minute or 65th. I don't remember when they scored entirely. But yeah, it was 1-0 till then. It seemed like we had control of that second half. We started out well. It seemed like we were just going to cruise to a result and stay atop the group. But that's not the case. It kind of worked out in our favor. If we show the bracket for our side, we have Botafogo, Palmeiras. Then we have us, Benfica. Then we have Inter Milan and I can't remember who Inter Milan played, but then we have it's Fluminense. Yeah, Inter Milan, Fluminense. And then we have Man City and Al Hilal. So obviously that bottom half of our side of the group is a lot tougher with Fluminense, Inter Milan, and then Al Hilal, Man City, which I think Al Hilal could do something. They did something against Madrid, but I guess we'll see when that time comes. Man City looked great against Juve, but this Flamengo result kind of worked out in our favor because it moved us to the easier side of the bracket. It meant that we didn't top the group, but the only downside is that Nicholas Jackson was suspended. So obviously he served his suspension in the game against Tunis, and then he has he has to serve his suspension again today, and then that will be the end of it. He can come back in the quarterfinals. Um, but yeah, third result, it was pretty straightforward. Tunis, not really that great of a side. We pretty much just handled business the way we should have. Tariq George scored in the dying minutes. Liam Delap scored a great goal. It was a really good striker's goal. Good finish. Took it so early that the keeper was flat-footed. He didn't know how to react to it. And then the first goal was a tossing out of Rabayo header to the right corner, I believe. Was it tossing? I don't know. That's just me remembering the game because I was there. Yeah, it was tossing. Ball came in from Enzo. Tossing headed it to the other side of the net, and then the other one was Enzo assisting Liam Delap, and then the third one was who was it that assisted Tariq George? Basically, the keeper fumbled the third shot. It like bounced up. I was right behind the goal. I was able to see it. The keeper had a howler there. It was Santos that assisted Tyree George. Win 3-0, make it out of the group stage into the knockout rounds where we have Benfica. And this is where I'm going to talk about what I want to do in terms of the lineup against Benfica, and that would be this. As you can see, it's our traditional back line. Some may argue for Chalaba to go right here. Some may say that it's more solid of a back line, but I don't think so. I don't rate Chalaba that highly, to be honest. I think he's a decent player, obviously in England international, but I don't really know if he's all that good. It seems like we consistently concede when he's in the lineup. Was pretty awful against Flamengo as well. So I don't know if I'd want to start him in a knockout competition, but you know, if he does, I'm not going to be mad. It's not like he's an awful player. But I think Towson has looked good and has deserved the chance to start. Obviously, we have Sanchez here, the number one. Hopefully, bring in a new keeper. He did not look good against Flamengo at all. Jorgensen looked a lot better on the ball in the Toulouse game, but obviously that's a lot of less pressure. Cucurella got the rest in the last game. I think should start, as well as Colwell and James. They all three got rests against Tunis, as well as Sanchez, to be honest. All of them got rests. I think all should start. I don't think it's a doubt in anyone's mind that they will start. Enzo didn't get a rest against Tunis, but he did sub off in the 60-something minute. So, you know, had only an hour to play, wasn't there the whole game, so, you know, wasn't bad at all. Looked really good in that Tunis game as well. He was really controlling play. Had a lot of the ball, really controlled in possession. Him and Lavia both looked great. Caicedo got a rest in the last game, a much needed rest, alongside Cucurella, who I both think just needed a rest. So I think they'll be fit for this game to go, and I think Caicedo will be at his best today. Obviously, Enzo's playing his old club in Benfica, so hopefully he does something there, maybe an assist, maybe a goal, box crashing goal. Yeah, this is really a no rotation lineup. This is pretty much our lineup from last season, bar no Nico Jackson. Obviously suspended for this game, and I think the Lab is a better striker than Jackson. I'd rather have him in this type of fixture. And you could move Nani down here, you can move Neto up there. It's really pick and choose. Obviously, if you want Neto to put in those crosses, you just put Neto here, and he'll go down this line with those crosses into the lap. But I think he might be a little more dynamic off this right in terms of goal scoring threat, and I think Nani, we just really need a left winger. And I'll get to all the getting stuff in my news video today, because it seems like he's coming through the door imminently. But that has been the report for multiple days now, so don't know when it's going to be completed. But obviously he was registered for Dortmund at the Club World Cup, so he can't register for us, so not really a hassle if, you know, the deal takes a little bit longer. But yeah, of course we have Nani on this left, because you could put Tariq George, but I think in a knockout competition, you do want your best players, and I think Nani could provide a threat. And then obviously Cole Palmer, you can't really take out the side. Him and Neto both got rest in the last game, so I think they'll be well acclimated to this game, very fit, and pretty much just ready to do something. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this game, and this is the lineup that I would go with. And if you want to see my score prediction, here we are. I have Chelsea 3, Benfica 1. I think the lab scores, and I think there's 3 different goal scorers today for us. I think it's Fernandez, I think it's Cole Palmer, and I think it's the lab. And I think fans would be delighted with that. I do think we concede. I mean, Benfica are a quality side. I think they're bound to get in. I think they're a lot more clinical than the teams we face. So I think, we're bound to concede. They're obviously a very strong European side in the Champions League a lot. They have quality. They have Andreas Sheldrup. They have Otamendi. They have Trubin. They have quality scattered around the pitch, but I think, we should outweigh them in a sense. Angel Di Maria, they have a lot of good players. Obviously, it's Benfica, big European side, one of the biggest Portuguese clubs, with Porto and with Sporting. But yeah, I think we should be able to outclass them. And I think Maresca will revert back to his tactics. I know he was experimenting a little bit in the group stage, but I think he removes the experiment, just puts in what the players know, and I think the players acclimate to that the best, and I think we scored 3 goals, and I think it's a really good result for us, and we move on to the quarterfinals against the likes of Palmeiras or Botafogo, who are actually about to kick off right now. So yeah, that is everything. I do hope you enjoyed this video. More than happy to be back. It's been 9 long days, and I'm finally able to record again. I'm glad I'm able to record. So yeah, happy I'm back, but if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to like and subscribe, and as always, it's Rico. Peace.